Alright, now we're going to learn how to calculate a slope when you're given coordinate pairs and also when you're given a line on a graph. So let's look first at a line on a graph, and let's understand this idea of what slope is, relate it to what we learned in the last video. So the slope is the steepness of a line, and if you're given a graph and you can locate two easy to read points on that graph that are at intersections, that's what I mean by easy to read, then you'll be able to find that slope very easily. All you have to do is draw that stair step between the points following the grid lines. Draw that right triangle between the points and label the rise and the run, or in this case the drop, because this line has a negative slope. If I were to write my name on it from left to right, it would be going downhill. So it has a negative slope. Find how much it drops from here down to get down to the other point. It drops 1, 2, 3, 4. So we say that the rise, or excuse me, the drop is -4. The run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Oh, by the way, remember that you're counting spaces. So the slope of this line, slope, which is m, by the way, when we use that letter to signify slope, it's going to be this drop over the run. So the drop, or rise if it's positive, over the run. Alright, we can also calculate the slope using a formula, and that comes in handy when you're only given the names of the 2 points, the coordinates for the 2 points, and no graph. So let's say that's the case. Let's say you were told that you have 2 points, we don't have grid paper, we don't have a graph, and the 2 points are -2, 3, and let's see, what is that one? 3, -1. And you want to find the slope using no graph. Well, we have a formula for that. Notice what it says. It says slope is the rise divided by the run, which we've just practiced, except ours dropped. And the way we find that is we take the y values from the 2 coordinate pairs and we subtract them, and that will tell us how much it goes up or down, because y goes up and down on a graph. And then we divide that by the x values, and that's the run part. That's how much we're going across. So if you look at this, if we would have subtracted 3, subtract -1, we'd get -4. If we would have subtracted -1 minus -2, excuse me, not -1, can't read my own handwriting. What is our x value? Oh, 3, subtract -2, we would have gotten 5. So it's just subtract the y values on top of this quotient, subtract the x values on the bottom, and you'll get your rise over your run, or your slope. So let's set this up. When you do this, make sure you write down your 2 coordinate pairs and you label them. Label one pair x sub 1, y sub 1. That just means, hey, this is my first pair I'm going to use. And label the other pair x sub 2, y sub 2. It just means this is my second pair I'm going to use. It's just distinguishing them apart, telling them apart. And then we're just going to plug things into the right spaces in the formula. So let's go find our y2. My y2 is -1. So I'm going to put that first. Then always a subtraction symbol. Always, always, always. That's built into the formula. So what are we subtracting? Y sub 1. And here it is. It's our 3 in the equation. Over. That's the quotient bar. What's on the bottom? X sub 2. That's the 3 here. And I'm subtracting, always subtracting, by the way. What am I subtracting? X sub 1. Go find it. There it is. Now be careful here. We have both a subtraction sign that's built into the formula, and we have a negative sign on the 2. So let's write it like that. Alright, and all we have left to do is calculate this. Be careful with your operations. If you're not sure, check with your calculator. But -1 subtract 3, that's the same as plus a -3. And 3 subtract -2, that's the same as 3 plus a +2. Remember, we add the opposite when we're doing integer subtraction. So on top, we're going to get -1 plus -3 is -4. On the bottom, 3 plus 2 is 5. And notice we got the same slope that we got using the stair-step method on the graph. So I'm going to give you a slope problem to practice, and I want you to give it a try using this formula. I'll help you get it started. I want you to find the slope between these 2 points. 1, 0, and 5, negative 3. Alright, remember to label them first. I'll get you started on that part. Let's call this x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. I'll go back and recopy the problem, but substituting these values from the 2 coordinate pairs into this formula, and let's see what you get.